Okay.
You wrote it. 9 minutes.
I've met with a lot of you, and what's amazing to me is a lot of you say, Rich, I just don't understand what Pearl does. You get we're in this technology kind of marketing, but what do you really do? So I want to try to illustrate that this morning very quickly. I'm going to move very fast. Save your questions. We'll do a one-to-one and talk about how it might apply to your business or to those businesses that you know. But if you can't see the whiteboard, I'd encourage you to relocate. But what we're going to talk about here this morning is a pyramid. This is the progression pyramid of sales. Okay? So this marker is not working too well. So here's what I want to talk to you about. Down here, you have suspects. Okay? We recently began working for a client, and that client has a target market of about 8,000 people that he's kind of going after, that he's identified that he's going after. Now, you can't see this very well, but up here on these 3M sticky notes, I've got the little cents sign, like dollars and cents. I've got little cents. The reason why is because you spend quite a bit of money. But where would you spend the money to try to reach this 8,000 people? Where would you begin to advertise? Can you give me some suggestions?
Newsbreak Network.
Newsbreak Network is a really good one, isn't it? Probably one of the best ones to reach, everybody. But what else? Internet.
Magazines.
Magazines, like what magazine?
Oh, Everything Knoxville.
Everything Knoxville.
Living Social.
Living Social. Right. Noel. We'll plug for Noel. Okay. Maybe the Knox Sentinel, but anyway, the point is that you're spending pennies. If you spend $1,000, you don't know who's seeing that necessarily, but you know for a fact that you're spending money to try to catch those eyeballs. So, for example, here's Stall Talk. Time is moving very quickly. Stall Talk has exclusive rights to every single porta potty for college campus games across the United States. Exclusive contracts, for example, right here to UT. So 180,000 people as they use the restroom. Okay, he is saying to businesses, you want to be seen? There's 180,000 people that are standing in line and watching what you have to say. Or inside the restroom and watching, seeing your ad. And he's talking about those eyeballs. Well, if you pay $250 a month to be on 5 of those stalls with 180,000 eyes, you divide that, you're paying pennies to try to reach all of those people. Okay, for sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and move on, because then we talk about, out of the whole universe, you then move up to prospects. Okay? These are people that qualify for your product. Greg, they need a new shower. Matt, they need plumbing work. Doug, they need home security. Tim, they need painting. As we go around the room, everybody needs, something. Businesses need video. These are the people that qualify for your service. Air conditioning, whatever your service is. Financial planning, do they qualify for you? They become bigger to you. They start to get a little bit more important because they qualify for your service, and so on. And for sake of time, I'm just going to kind of illustrate the point. Well, after you qualify who those prospects are in this sales pyramid, you then want them to become customers. Well, once they become customers, they're no longer worth just pennies. These people now represent money to you. These people are bringing money to you. They're buying your services. They're getting health care, or they're getting, and there's I got different colors just to represent different types of people. It might be commercial, Aubrey, or it might be residential. Or it might be my dad in Chicago for your online shower. Okay, it's all kinds of different people that qualify, that say, yes, I want your service. I want you to pay my house, you to fix my air. Now these people represent money to you. Well, then the next phase of that is repeat customers. So if it's 15 times harder to get new people than it is to keep the ones you already have, we place an emphasis on keeping the ones that you have. You want to move up the scale to where they become ultimately valuable to your business. But as they begin to move up and they come back in, buy more glass, or they get a service agreement for a year, or a monthly subscription. Now these people are worth more money to you because they're buying more product. Chuck, if you do a monthly service for somebody, you're putting them on the front page of Google, or you're doing advertising, they give you some kind of monthly service for marketing, that person is funding your life, your business. They're paying you. If it's an annual contract for servicing on your air or whatever it might be, or financial planning, you do an annual review, and they've got more money coming in, or IRAs, or whatever the case might be. This person is very valuable to you because they're repeat customers. They're coming in and buying more product from you. But it doesn't stop there. There's another level. Advocates. What is an advocate? Help me out a little bit. What's an advocate?
Sings your praises.
Yeah.
Somebody sings your praises. Is that person valuable to you?
Huge.
How valuable?
Completely.
Isn't that what we're about in this group? You advocate for me, I advocate for you. I was at church the other day, sweating my head off. Our air conditioning isn't working. I'm a new guy at the church, okay? But I said, Pastor, I'm kind of new here, but, this air really seems to be a problem. Let me ask you a question. I happen to know the owner of AirServe in Knoxville. I think he could probably help. I'm not going to mention it again, but if you'd like me to give you his name and number, I found myself in the middle of a referral, and I gave it to him. Now, I don't know if it's going to evolve into anything, but I became an advocate for Jack. How valuable is that to you?
Very valuable.
Okay, so I as you'll probably learn, I just did business with his security, Doug. Okay, I'm telling everybody about his security and what they offer. If I tell people about Doug and his business, how valuable is that to you?
Very valuable.
Because I'm a salesperson, he doesn't have to hire and pay. Is that valuable to you? I'm talking. I in the same exact church, we're talking about doing a $100,000 extension on the building. You know who I referred? Who did I refer? John Cook. I became his advocate. Am I worth something to John? A little? I mean, this is a $100,000 job. Maybe he doesn't want it. But when you start to move up, you cut the numbers. When customers, what we did for this company in Halls was out of 8,000, the people that we went out and recruited into his system was only about 350 that actually are doing business that we could capture in a database. Well, we've grown that from customers to repeat customers to now 1,100 people. I'm just trying to watch my time here because 2 minutes. Okay, so 1,100 people. So what happens is you have the suspects, you move them to prospects, who qualifies for your business, then who is doing business with you. How do you begin to grow them and get them back into your store over and over and over and over? Then, how do you turn that into advocates? Well, you've got about 20%. Anybody familiar with the 80-20 rule? Okay, 20% of your business is responsible for how much? 80%, right? So doesn't it make sense that if you have these people right here, and it represents about 20% of your book of business, would it not make sense to then go to what we call super advocates? What are super advocates? Super advocates are on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, etc. That's Pro Marketing Technologies. We take and we follow you all the way through this so that we can help you make more money. That's what we help companies do. So you take a cupcake place or a Cookies by Design, we're helping them at every stage. Newsbreak and Stall Talk, they're getting the eyeballs, but what happens then? How do you advance them to super advocates? How do you know who they are? Well, for example, and I'll mention this very quickly, one particular customer at this one place that we've done recently, one of his 200 has 1,001 followers on Twitter and tweets 14,234 times a month. Now, if she does business with Dan Head and says, man, what an absolutely unbelievable financial experience I had, and I've not lost money in this recession, or I've not lost money when rates declined, or whatever the case might be, and she goes and tweets that, you just hit 1,000 people. That's the power of multiplication. You're no longer talking, folks. That one doesn't have a dollar sign.
Yeah.
Because it means money. You gotta make sure and use one with a dollar sign. Folks, we're talking about money to the business. We're talking about growing that book of business. Thanks, Tim. We're talking about growing that book of business, taking from suspects to prospects to customers to repeat customers to advocates to super advocates, and making that cycle happen over and over and over and over. That's Pearl Marketing Technologies. A better way to make a better customer. Rich DeForest, Pearl Marketing Technologies.
I went to get coffee this morning. I couldn't figure out where it all went. That was awesome, man.